I don't think there's any question. I think what we're seeing, as I said, is a much more aggressive chapter and a much more dangerous chapter in terms of the war on terrorism.
Back now to our top story tonight. That was former Defense Secretary Leon Panetta talking yesterday about the threat of violent extremism just ahead of a State of the Union address that so far we are not hearing is very focused on combating terrorism. However, it's very focused on increasing our taxes. What's more, the Panetta comments come as a Pew Research poll comes out showing terrorism is a top concern for voters now. The first time in 5 years that issue has actually led the list of voters' concerns. Look at that. Joining me now with reaction, Senator Ron Johnson, who is the new chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Committee. Mr. Chairman, good to see you tonight. And so far, the White House is just highlighting the economic proposals the president will push tomorrow. We're being told the folks in the First Lady's State of the Union box will not necessarily relate to the war on terror, but to domestic policy and so on. Are you concerned about the amount of attention we're prepared to give this, not just tomorrow night, but from the Oval Office going forward?
Oh, I'm highly concerned. I'm not sure how much time President Obama will devote to the very serious threats facing this nation, but I think Americans in such uncertain times, first and foremost crave some safety and security, and they're craving leadership. I mean, they want a leader who will tell them the truth. They will actually be willing to face reality, and from my standpoint, actually put in place a strategy to accomplish the very goal that he stated: degrade and ultimately defeat ISIS. The problem is we don't exactly know what President Obama views as defeat of ISIS is.
But
there is no strategy. And
the latest polls show that the American people are not with him on this. The latest Fox poll shows 39% of voters approve of his handling of terrorism, 53% disapprove. But if you were president, if there were a Republican in the White House, how can these cells that are determined to unleash pockets of violence in different parts of the West, of the Western world, be stopped?
Well, there are a number of things we have to do. First and foremost, Megyn, we need to secure our border, and President Obama's executive amnesty is going to put pressure not only on our border, but also on DHS, that's charged with kind of keeping this nation safe. We have to make sure we have an effective intelligence gathering capability. Let's not degrade it any further. We need to make sure that there aren't any stovepipes that are reemerging, so that our agencies are sharing that information. And we have to defeat ISIS, because, Megyn, if ISIS isn't losing, they're going to continue to recruit.
He's doing that.
No, he's not. We're doing some bombing. You might be able to claim that maybe ISIS is being contained. They certainly are not being significantly degraded. They are a long ways from being defeated. And again, if they're not losing, if they're perceived as not losing, they're perceived as winning, they'll continue to inspire what we saw in Paris and Ottawa and Sydney, Fort Hood, Texas. This threat is not going away. It is growing. It is metastasizing.
Leon Panetta calls this a much more aggressive chapter by the terrorists and says we've got to be prepared to confront that here at home as well. The question is whether we are on a much more aggressive front when it comes to combating terrorism and showing our support for our friends who are the victims of it. Secretary Kerry, Secretary of State, came under fire this weekend for going over to France to express solidarity, and critics said it was a day late and a dollar short. We should have had a top representative at that march where all the world leaders were. We didn't. Even though Eric Holder was there, he didn't go. John Kerry didn't go. Barack Obama didn't go. Vice President Biden didn't go. John Kerry goes over last Friday and has this weird moment with singer James Taylor. Watch.
I come running, see you again.
It's getting killed. The UK's Guardian says U.S. to France, you've got a placating, condescending friend. Who thought up this hokey idea? A song doesn't right wrongs. This ridiculous notion that hugs heal all, because he went and hugged the president of France, Hollande, and they don't hug in France ever. And look at this. Look at this. It looks like a kiss is about to take place, does it not? You tell me, Mr. Chairman, whether we got a handle on this.
No, that was just a cringe-inducing moment. I could not watch the video, and I like James Taylor. So, no, I mean, it was just amateur hour in the White House. They should have gone to France. Megyn, we need leadership. We need to show the world that we are 100% committed, again, to the goal that President Obama stated: degrade and ultimately defeat not only ISIS, we have to defeat al-Qaeda in Yemen. We've got to defeat Islamic terror wherever it shows up. And again, it's showing up in more places.
I think Secretary did a lot to convey the message that they really, really do have a friend. I mean, kissing, you know, I mean, hugging, that conveys a lot. Senator Johnson, great to see you.
Have a great night.
So awkward, right? I feel awkward just watching it on TV, right?